This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press here with the top-ranked boxing prospect King Callum Walsh ahead of his fight coming up at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Callum, we were just talking about it off camera. I mean, let's just say it. You have turned the page. I mean, anywhere I see you, big MMA events. I saw you at the WWE. They put you on TV on Raw. I mean, you've been getting pushed for a minute, but what's this last stretch of several months been like for you as a young man?
Yeah, it's cool, I enjoy going to all these events, and that's the promotion there. That's Tom Loeffler and Dana White, the best promoters in the world. They put me on everywhere. What kind of other boxer that's under 10 fights is getting that kind of promotion, from WWE to especially UFC, nobody's getting that. And I'm very grateful to be able to do it at such a young age, and to have such good promoters, behind me. But yeah, I'm just enjoying it. I'm just fighting and winning and trying to enjoy every minute.
I'd like to ask you about the whole WWE experience. We obviously saw you and Tabitha there. How did the walkout come together? Obviously, you guys get to do this stuff before the show. I mean, did they tell you it was happening? Did they find some belts for you and you're like, hey, can we do this? How did it all come together?
Yeah, no, so there was two Irish people there actually wrestling. They were two wrestlers. So we went to meet up with them and they had to give us the whole tour, and one of them had belts. And I was like, I think we could do a walkout, just for whatever. And then, yeah, we ended up, he gave us his belts and we done the walkout or whatever, and it was cool. Who knows, someday maybe we'll get a tag team going in the WWE.
I was going to say, you are a young man, still very durable, still got a lot of time to maybe test these things out if you want to try it. Do you feel like that might be something they said, hey, we're doing an Ireland show, Conor will be in the crowd, some of the others, you want in on this?
I don't know, who knows, I'll just keep winning fights and keep growing and see what happens. Yeah, like you said, I'm young, I could do it if I wanted, I probably won't get injured. So.
More than a lot of the other boxing prospects, you are very much in the vein of the MMA scene. Can I ask you about some of these fights? Obviously, the big one coming up this coming Friday, Francis Ngannou taking on Anthony Joshua. What are your thoughts on that fight and how he'll do in his second boxing outing?
Yeah, I think it's a good fight, for both of them. I think Ngannou's just after coming off a good fight, that he could have won, but a lot of people thought he won. And Joshua's coming off a fight too, and I think it's actually a good fight. Joshua, I don't know, is he a bit chinny after a couple of his fights and he's kind of afraid. And Ngannou hits very hard. Joshua should beat him, boxing-wise, in the skills. But Ngannou, you've seen his last fight, he dropped Tyson Fury, He dropped him, and so if he dropped him, I think if he hits Joshua, it could be game over. So it actually is a good, very good fight.
Now, people have obviously asked you about the MMA thing. When you see a guy like Francis, where he's at in his career, do you feel like he should return to MMA, or do you feel like, you've done everything you want to and need to, just go ahead and chase these couple fights and call it a day? Because obviously it's kind of all worked out very well for him.
Yeah, I don't think he's done everything he wanted to and he needed to. There's more fights that he could have fought. He could have fought John Jones. There's a couple of fights there, better fights that he could have had in the MMA. So I don't know. I'm not going to tell him what he should do or whatever, but I don't know. I'd like to see him fight a couple of more MMA fights. I know he's getting a lot more money in the boxing. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants more money than more legacy. So that's what happens. People see the money and they just start chasing different random fights instead of a legacy. But I don't know. So that's his decision, I suppose. If he wants the money, let him go for it.
And then another big fight recently made official. Another two bright young men with big futures like yourself. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. How do you see that fight going down with those two boys?
Devin Haney will probably win that fight.
Nice and easy?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. I think probably go the distance, but he'll win it, I'd say, yeah, probably.
Last couple questions. If you've been asked about this ad nauseum, I apologize, but can you tell us the origin of, as the internet may call it, King Shark, you and Tabitha Ritchie? How did that happen? Did you come to Wild Card? Were you at Black House or somewhere and said, hey, I'd like to talk to you? How did this all come together?
We just met at the UFC fights and she came to see me fight and that was it.
Well,
that's all I'm going to say, that was it, yeah.
No, clearly you guys have each other's back. I mean, I gotta say, inseparable, and I think the internet really loves it, so it's always happy to see you guys. Finally, let's talk about business at hand. Back at the theater, taking on Dauren. I'm not gonna pronounce his last name. Quite a lot of vowels there, but he's got a solid record himself. Just what are your thoughts on his game and what he brings to the table?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to fighting. I'm always looking forward to fighting anybody. I don't really care who I fight. Anyone that comes to fight me brings their best, so you can always expect a good fight. He's going to try to win. He's a main event in Madison Square Garden. You know, he's going to come out and give his all and try to get a win. But I haven't seen much footage on him really. I know Freddie's going to make a game plan and tell me what to do, and I'll implement the game plan and hopefully knock him out. And if not, you know, same as last time, just put on a good fight for the crowd. Everyone will enjoy it, and we'll all go to the pub after.
You know, we've had some events here in Southern California at the Commerce. Been fantastic vibes. I've been there. Been to Boston. Second time to New York for a fight. I mean, do you feel like maybe the small shows might be behind you? We're just continuing to climb forward, bigger arenas, bigger crowds at this point?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter to me where I fight. You know, Tom Loeffler and Dana and whoever tells me when and where to fight, it doesn't matter whether I'm fighting right here or in Madison Square Garden. You know, I just keep taking fights, keep winning, and keep climbing the ladder, keep climbing the ranks, and get a world title soon.
Well, Callum, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck.